I'm live. Hello. There's nobody here. Welcome to my messy basement. Stack of books. See if anybody shows up. If nobody shows up, there we go. There's somebody. Hello, welcome. This is Metro South online classes or virtual classes, Parkour and Freerunning lesson number 7. This is the beginner level lesson. Today we are going to be going over a vault. All right. So today's vault, we will start on the floor and we'll try to do it on the floor. But the other thing that I have with me is a coffee table. Looks like that. If you have anything that is sturdy and probably about knee height, this could even be like a fairly sturdy stack of pillows, or I don't know, anything flat, a little workout bench. You could even get, I don't know, something really. It just needs to be sturdy because you're going to be putting your weight on it. So I have a coffee table. Again, if you don't have something like this, whether it's a coffee table or an ottoman or whatever it might be, you can do this on the floor, and I'll show you how to do all those things when we get to it. All right. So we're going to be going over what's called the reverse vault today. Before we get into the reverse vault, we're going to do a little bit of a warm up. So let's slide our coffee table out of the way. All right. Get our bodies pumping. We're going to do a whole bunch of stuff. Ready? Let's start by jogging in place. Keep those legs moving. Pump those arms. All right. And now let's lift our knees up high. So let's put our hands out. Let's try to knee ourselves in the hands. These are high knees, high knees. Keep doing it in 5, 4, 3. Next, we're going to do butt kicks. So we're trying to kick our butt. Try to get your foot to kick your butt. Keep your legs moving fast. Keep pumping your arms. Keep your body moving. We're trying to get our blood flowing and our heart racing. All right. And next, we're doing jumping jacks. Arms swinging, legs moving, body's moving. Wide legs, swing your arms all the way up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Catch your breath. We're going to do some shoulder, whatever you call it. Swing your arms in big circles. Shoulder warm-ups, that's the word I was looking for. Big circles forwards. Big circles backwards. And now let's swing one arm forwards, one arm backwards. If you have difficulty with this one, start with both of them in front. Make one go up, one go down. Keep going around. And if you think about it in front of you, there's always one up, one down. It can help. Switch directions. Go the other way. And now we're going to swing our arms across the front. Switch which arm goes on top each time. Make sure you're trying to open yourself up as wide as you can, and then crossing over as far as you can each time. And then without moving your feet, we're going to twist side to side. Does not have to be fast. We're just trying to look as far behind us as we can while we twist. All right, very nice. Let's stand in a straddle. We're going to do a little leg stretching. So arms go up to the ceiling, reaching down to one side. Try to touch one foot with both hands. Hold it there for just a little bit. And then we're going to come across the floor over to the other side. Both hands down on the same foot. Reaching, reaching, reaching. And now down the middle. Try to touch the floor right in between your feet. So if I stand on this line here, I'm trying to touch the line. Right in between. I'm not reaching way out in front. And now we're going to reach behind our feet. So reach as far behind you as you can. And now reach out in front. So reaching forwards. Look in between your legs. And come back up to the top. Let's put our feet together this time. We're going to reach up, reaching forwards. Try to have a flat back as you reach. And then reach down towards your toes. If you can't reach your toes, grabbing towards your legs is fine. If you can touch your toes, reach for the floor. We want to think about our belly getting as close to our legs as possible here. All right, let's take a seat on the ground. We're going to do one leg out straight, the other leg tucks in. We're going to point our toe, so push your toes away from you. Reaching for your foot. Try to get both hands on it if you can. Keep your toes pointing away from you. And now flex your toes, point them towards you. Try to grab on. And next, let's put our leg over the top, roll out our ankle. Switch directions, roll it the other way. Give your toes a wiggle. Move your toes around. And foot on the ground. Have your foot firmly on the ground. Hug your knee, sit up as tall as you can. Pull it in tight. And now we're going to switch sides. So we're putting our other leg out straight. Other foot is bent in, down low. Pointing our toes away from us, reach towards your foot. Hold this stretch just for a little bit. If you can't quite reach your foot, you can grab onto your ankle or reach for your knee. But what we want to try to do is get our belly down as flat as we can. And if you can reach your foot, reach around the side of your foot. And now point your toes towards you, so flex your feet, grab onto your toes, try to lift your heel up off the ground. Pull it tight. See if you can get your elbow down towards your shin. And then foot goes over the top, and we're rolling out our ankle on this side. Roll it in both directions. Give your toes a little wiggle. Warm up our toes. And then we'll do our knee hug where our foot goes down on the ground. Pull it tight on our leg. Sitting up as tall as we can. Pull it in tight. All right, next. Moving on to our butterfly stretch. So feet in close. Legs are moving back and forth, up and down. Our goal is to get our knees to go close to the floor. So if you want to flap your butterfly wings, you can do that. Or you can push down with your elbows, trying to open your feet up. All right. Flip onto your stomach. We're going to do a seal stretch. So let's do feet together. Hands nice and close to our body. Not out far like this. Up nice and tall, looking towards the ceiling, acting like a seal. And then we're going to shift up, stick our butts up in the air, reach our arms out and elbows towards the floor. We're not sitting back on our feet like this. We have our legs straight up, making a 90-degree angle with our leg here, pushing our armpits down, looking forwards at your hands. And come on up. Let's take a rest on our knees and roll out our wrists. Roll them in every direction, back and forth, up and down, forward and back, side to side, around in circles. Do the wave. Switch directions. Okay, let's see. I'm bad at this. There it is. Shake them out. And hands on the ground. We're going to have our fingers facing forwards, and we're going to rock forwards and back, forwards and back. Just go far enough that you can feel a stretch in your wrist. And now face your hands to the side. And we're going to rock side to side. Again, going just as far as we can until the pressure feels just right. Don't hurt yourself. And then let's do circles. Around in a circle. Change direction. And now let's make our fingers facing backwards towards us. And you're just going to start to sit back towards your feet. Try to keep your hands totally flat on the ground. If you go too far and your hands start to come up off the floor, take it back a little bit. And then next, be really careful with this one. We'll do one hand at a time. You're going to flip your hand so that the back of your hand is on the ground and your palm is facing up. And we're just going to do a little pressure side to side. And then switch. So put the other hand down. The palm is facing up. Back of the hand is on the floor. Side to side. Stretching out our wrist. Alrighty. So that is our warm-up for today. We are going to get into the reverse vault and the turn vault today. These two vaults are very, very useful in parkour. The turn vault is probably one of the more useful ones. We're going to start on the floor. We're going to do a few exercises, and then I have a coffee table that's pretty sturdy that I'm going to be using. If you don't have any equipment to do this on, the floor should be totally fine. It just may look a little silly. We might need to modify it a little bit. So we'll start on the floor with some drills. Turn vault is just going to be a 180 spin using our hands. It's very similar to a cartwheel, but instead of having our feet go up really high, we want to stay with our feet to the side. We don't want them to go really high up. All right. So on the floor, I want you to pick an object. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. I'm just going to use this green yoga mat because you can see it. If you don't have anything like a yoga mat, grab two small items. I have a cell phone and a block. All you're going to do is you're going to mark out the edges of something, and you're going to pretend that you have a mat. So you just use those two as the edges, because what we're going to be doing for our turn vault, move some stuff so I don't kick anything. First step for the turn vault is we're facing our object. Again, mine is this, or you can have two objects marking the edge of something. Our hands go down. One hand reaches a little bit further, just like a cartwheel, but instead of being upright like this, we're down low to the object. Our hands go out to the side, one hand reaching further than the other, and we're just going to do a 180 spin, landing on our feet on the other side. Going back, looks like that. Our goal here is to lift our hips up so that we're actually supporting our weight on our hands. Now we can go with our left hand first and rotating this way, or we can go with our right hand first and rotating this way. I want you guys to try both sides. We're going to try this about 5 times on each side. This is called our turn vault, and this is what the turn vault looks like on the floor, okay? So reaching out, jumping our hips up, and spinning. And then we go back. We can go back to the opposite direction. We can spin in circles. Like so, all right? So give that about 5 tries. Again, if you don't have an object or a marker like this panel mat, you can even use a pillow. Don't put your hands on the pillow, but pretend the pillow is bigger than it really is and go right next to it, all right? Next, for our turn vault, I'm going to show you what that looks like over a coffee table. So, again, if you don't have a coffee table that you can use or anything sturdy, that's totally fine. I'm just going to demonstrate it on there so that way you guys know what this vault really looks like. All right? So turn vault, really simple and easy. It's just a 180, both legs swing over. We land on the other side. Boom. All right? If you have an object that you can do it over, even if it's something really small, go ahead and do that now. Just like before, we're trying things 5 or more times. 10 would be great. You also have multiple directions you can go. You can go to your right, or you can go to your left. And what's important about a turn vault is that we're lifting our hips up and we're beginning to spin, so we land facing in the opposite direction. So if I were to do this while I was moving, I'd come in going forwards, I'd 180 and land facing backwards. There's a couple of different reasons that's important, but I don't really have a way to show you what that might be. But one way to think about it is if you had a table or if you had an object, so it's hard to tell on here, but I have a thin edge on my table when I turn it sideways. The turn vault's really useful for jumping over something and still holding on to it when we get to the other side. So, here, let's do it this way. So if I put my hands on the table, when I jump over, I can still be holding onto the table when I land on the other side. And that's really important because if let's say we're jumping over something really small, like a fence, where it's a really thin rail, as we jump over, we can hold on the whole time so that we don't end up falling, all right? That right there is our turn vault. If you need to practice that a little bit more, go ahead and do that because we're going to get into the reverse vault, which is a step above the turn vault. I'm going to move back to the floor so that I can teach this on the floor, and then we'll go forwards up onto an object. One quick thing, if let's say you have a table, but it's a little too big for you because you're a little guy, that's all right. You can do a turn vault in 2 steps. We can do a turn vault up on top, where we land standing on top and then push back down. All right, so you do up on top, jump, and push back down. And then our goal is to go faster with it, making sure our hands stay on the object the whole time. Okay, so there's your quick little tip on how to make a turn vault a little bit easier if you needed it. Okay, back to the floor. I'm going to get my panel mat or my yoga mat again so you guys can see I have an object or basically a flat surface that I'm going to be jumping over. The reverse vault is a little bit different than the turn vault, and it's going to be a little bit trickier on the floor. Reverse vault, instead of being a 180, is going to bump up the turn vault a whole nother half a rotation, and it's going to make it a 360. So it's a full spin. So if I start facing you guys, I'm going to end facing you guys again, spinning all the way around. Now, I haven't tried to reverse vault on the floor yet, so hopefully this works. I'm going to reach my hands over to the side just like before. I'm going to start with a turn vault, but then right before I land on the ground, so when I get to here, my feet are still in the air, I'm going to push and try to turn my body around, keeping the rotation so that I end facing forwards. So reverse vault, here we go. Okay, it's a little bit trickier on the ground, but the idea is we can make it past 180, so past our turn vault, we've gone far enough to count it as a reverse vault. So even if you're coming up a little short and you're only landing like this, sideways, you're able to keep turning and keep moving. So if we were to imagine that we're moving during this skill, I know we don't have a lot of space inside, but we're moving forwards. We're doing a full spin, and then we're still moving forwards. If you need to break the reverse vault into parts to make it a little bit easier for you, it's reaching to the side, you're doing a turn vault, and then you're spinning to finish the full turn, all right? So we're going all the way around. Coming from this side, looks like this, ready? Reaching over, spinning half, spinning the extra half, all right? And then if I make sure that I don't put my feet on the ground until I finish the full turn, then I'm doing a true reverse vault. All right, moving back to our table. We're gonna break the reverse vault into parts again. So it's the half for the turn vault, and then an extra half to finish. Ready? So it's a full spin. I'm facing you guys now. Here's the reverse vault again. Ready? Hand, hand, full 360 turn vault, all the way around. If I turn it sideways so you can see it this way. Again, I'm doing a full 360. The turn vault looks like this. This is a turn vault. So we're just turning around. Reverse vault. Spinning all the way around. So just try to keep your feet up until you've made it all the way around. Again, if the turn vault was tricky for you and you had to do a jump up and a jump down, you can do the reverse vault in the same way. We can jump up, but then when we jump down, instead of just jumping straight down, we're going to push with our hand, just like before. This hand stays on. We're going to try to spin ourselves off. Okay? So here, jump and spin to finish facing the same direction. All right? That right there is a reverse vault. Yay, we did it. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. We're going to do a little bit of conditioning. Again, this was the reverse vault for the Parkour level 3, Parkour level 1 guys, our beginner level. We did the reverse vault and the turn vault. You can do these skills on the ground, as I've shown you, but if you have something that you can go over, then please try it on that. Okay. Conditioning number 1. I want you to either use the object you've been using for the reverse vault, or you can use a couch. I want you to find something that is about knee high, that is solid, that you won't fall off of, that you can put your hands on, and then jump your feet up and back down. So we're going to do Kong ups, Kong downs. Well, backwards Kong downs. So it looks like this. Ready? You go up, down. Your hands can stay on the object the whole time. Up, down. If that's a little tricky, sometimes it takes a little bit extra flexibility to get to this position with our hands down. So you can lift them up if you need to. Just give it a good push right before you stand up. And then hands go down to bring our feet back down. You're going to try to do this 20 times. So we're going up, down, up, down, up, down. Keep it going. Try to bring your feet together. Try not to have your feet out wide like this. Ready? Boom. Instead, we're trying to have our feet in between our arms. Okay? That should be about 20. After you do those 20, we're going to shift into our half handstand. So again, same object you just did those Kong ups on. If it's a couch, that's great. If it's a table, that's great. Doesn't matter. But what we're going to do is we're going to put our hands on the floor. We're going to put our feet up on top. And we're going to try to lift our butt up into the sky really high. And we're going to do shoulder touches. So it looks like this. So it's a half handstand. We're trying to make our body straight up. So we don't want to be out like this. We want our hands above our head. And we're going to try to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Try to make it all the way to 30. Just keep moving, counting. Try to squeeze your body tight. Don't let yourself drop down. If this is really hard for you, you can put your knees down on top of the object instead and do it like that. All right? And if this is really, really hard for you, do it in a push-up position instead. We're trying to do 30 total touches on each hand, or 15 on each hand, 30 total. Okay. After that, move back into the legs. We're going to do squat jumps. So the way these are going to work. So you're going to stand with your feet shoulder width apart. Put your arms out in front of you. Okay? You're going to lower down like you're sitting in a chair, and then you're going to go up and jump. So down like you're sitting in a chair every time. If you want to, you can use an actual chair. So you stand shoulder width apart, you sit down, stand up and jump. Sit down, stand up and jump. Sit down, up and jump. We're going to do this 20 times. Do 10, take a quick break, do 10 more. So sit down, up and jump. Sit down, up and jump. Sit down, up and jump. If you want to make this a little bit harder, you can obviously do it without sitting, or you can get something that's a little bit lower to the ground, like a small stack of pillows, and you can go down till your butt touches, and then up and jump. Down, up and jump. Down. All right. And about 20 of those. Whew. Grab a quick drink of water. We got one more thing to do. Okay. Last one we're going to do is our push-ups. I don't think I did them last week, so we're going to do them again this week. I want you to do 10 push-ups total. Try to have your hands shoulder width apart, like so. Lowering down and back up. If you need to, in order to keep yourself doing them correctly, you can go on your knees. But I want you to focus on not having your butt up really high like this, and not having your hips down low like this. Instead, a nice and straight body here, bending your elbows. Okay? If we're doing shoulder shrugs, that's not quite a push-up. So our elbows need to bend. One of the best ways, I think, to do this, if you don't quite have the strength, is to, again, we can use our same object we've been using. Put your hands up on top of a ledge and do them there. That allows you to take some of the weight off your arms. If you're having a lot of trouble with just the form of your body, try it against a wall if you need to, just to get a nice straight shape, okay? And if you're having trouble with the elbow bend part, you're not quite understanding how it works, you can do these lie down push-ups here, where we lay down flat and then push back up. And then lay down flat and then try to push back up. So we're going all the way down to the ground every time. It helps us bend our elbows all the way down so we're getting the proper push. After you do 10, I want you to again try to do one more time as many push-ups in a row as you can, whether that's 5, 2, 10, a million, or a half a push-up. I just want to see you guys try to test yourself and see where you're at. Cool. That has been Parkour Level 1 Metro Virtual Classes, lesson number 7, I think. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.